going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, did the Jets find another hidden gem? We're going to talk about it, and that guy being Donovan Edwards, former University of Michigan running back. He was turning heads in the first preseason game. Does he have a chance to make this 53-man roster? We'll break it all down on today's show. But before we do so, if you guys could hit that thumbs up icon, I'm going to set a goal for us on today's show. Can we get the most likes we have gotten this month in August? Right now on a video, we got 713 likes. So if you guys want to help us out, let's see if we get to 1,000. I think it could definitely be on the table. So it helps us get this video out to more and more Jets fans. So if you guys could go down there, hit that thumbs up icon. All right, so the Don is here. Did the New York Jets find a hidden gem with former Michigan running back Donovan Edwards? Now, I was pleasantly surprised with how much juice he had out there on the football field this past Saturday night. Now, I thought he, maybe would be hitting the back nine of his career, considering how much wear and tear he had on those legs with getting a ton of carries at the University of Michigan. And plus, his senior campaign did not look like who he was back in his junior year, but in his first preseason showing with the New York Jets, he looked absolutely amazing. Now, the raw numbers were pretty solid as well. And he was also one holding penalty away from having 10 carries for over 110 yards and a touchdown. But the raw numbers look like that. 9 carries, 42 yards, 4.7 yards per carry. He also had 1 reception going for 21 yards. And, like I was saying, I did not expect Donovan Edwards to show this much juice. We knew he had some good breakaway speed, ran a really solid 40-yard dash at the scouting combine. But also what impressed me the most that I did not expect was his vision, because it did feel like his senior year at Michigan, he wouldn't follow his blocks the best as he was back in his junior campaign, but he was following his blocks very well. He would just hit that hole, and he would take off going. And that one run that got called back, it was a perfectly blocked run play by the Jets offensive line, but he found that massive hole, put his foot in the ground, got to the left sideline, and it was just a race to the pylon, and he ended up winning that race. Wish that was, or wish that play was, remain standing without the penalty, but what are you going to do there? But his RAS score when he was coming out this past year at Michigan, pretty solid actually. Had a crazy good vertical jump at 38.5 inches, but his 40-yard dash was way better than I thought, going for 4.4 on that, and he also had a great 10-yard split, which is obviously huge to determine explosiveness at the running back position, but he was rated very high compared to his other running backs that were coming out. And again, this was a loaded draft class this year. People were talking about this being the best running back draft class of possibly all time. You had the top-end talent, like the guys like Ashton Genty, Amari and Hampton, even guys that went in the second round like Travion Henderson. People are raving about him in New England. R.J. Harvey's getting all types of love in Denver. And I think Donovan Edwards, if this was another draft class, he probably ends up going, maybe not day 2, but for sure day 3. So I think the Jets possibly found a hidden gem in their UDFA class this past year. And this is a guy, if you guys have been paying attention to college football at all for the past 4 seasons, you know who Donovan Edwards is. And again, a lot of carries on those legs, but he was a huge focal point of Michigan's offense when they did go win the national championship back in 2023, going for just under 500 yards. Even that sophomore campaign, he was awesome. And, keep in mind, he was splitting carries like 2024. He was splitting carries with Chloe Mullins. In 23-22, he was splitting carries with Blake Corum. But still, when he was out there and he had the ball in his hands, he was making an impact. So could he make the team? I think it's going to come down to just the next 2 preseason games for Donovan Edwards. And I would expect him to get a lot of run in those games where, I'm assuming maybe not, week 2, but for sure week 3, we won't see Braelon Allen. We won't see Breece Hall. I could even see the Jets putting Isaiah Davis on ice where we could look up and it's like, oh, Donovan Edwards had 20-plus carries in week 3 of the preseason. But how could it work out from a roster perspective? Now, I think the Jets will probably keep 4 running backs on this team, that being Braelon Allen, Breece Hall, Isaiah Davis, and then that 4th spot will probably come down to Kene Nwangwu and Donovan Edwards. Now, I think he could take the spot of Kene Nwangwu, especially if the Jets decide to keep Jamal Pritchett at the wide receiver position. Now, why does that make sense? Because the Jets, they still have a need at the kick return, punt return spot. But that's what Jamal Pritchett is. So if they like Pritchett more to be their kick and punt returner this upcoming season, then maybe they don't have a need to have Kene Nwangwu and then Donovan Edwards could get that final 53-man roster spot. But I still think it's going to come down to how he performs during the last 2 preseason games. If he shows up like he did against the Green Bay Packers, I think he's got a really good chance. But right now, if I had to give a percentage, I would probably say 25, 30%. But again, he has 2 good games. That could jump up to around 70, 80%. But I'll ask you guys this. What say you? Will Donovan Edwards make this final New York Jets 53-man roster? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's show. So scroll down there and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, coming up next year, I do want to dive into the rest of the Jets running backs, as some people on Twitter are getting a little upset with Breece Hall. Some people think Braelon Allen should be getting the majority of the touches. I just want to give you guys my full thoughts here. But before we do so, if you guys want to get some new New York Jets merchandise in your life, we got a sweet deal for you guys going on right now at chatsports.com/Jets hoodies. I'll put this link right here in the comment section and description of today's show. But these things are fresh and they're on sale right now. So hit that link, comment section, and description of today's show. You guys want to get some new New York Jets merchandise in your life. All right, so let's talk about these 3 guys, because clearly the Jets are going to be running the football a whole lot this upcoming season. I mean, the first preseason game under Aaron Glenn, they ran the ball over 40 times. So let's talk about Breece Hall, Braelon Allen, and Isaiah Davis. And we're actually going to start off with the 3rd stringer here, Isaiah Davis, because I'm going to give him the nod of the play of the night. This should be a SportsCenter top 10 play, because this was just genius by Isaiah Davis. So this was on the Justin Fields scramble, the 14-yard touchdown run, where Fields stepped up in the pocket, was able to escape, and Isaiah Davis right here, he was just running a wheel route on the right sideline, and he noticed Fields was taking off. You see Fields right down at the first down marker. So what does Isaiah Davis do? High IQ play. He just throws his hands up where this DB thinks the ball is potentially coming to Isaiah Davis, so he can't turn around and make a play on Justin Fields. Now, was Fields probably going to get in anyways? I'll probably say yes, but still, this was just a walk-in touchdown for Fields because of what Isaiah Davis did. High IQ play from the former 4th-round pick. Now, I do want to highlight one Breece Hall run that has kind of gone viral on Twitter, and people are freaking out about it a little bit. Now, I'll give credit to the Jets offensive line. This is a well-executed run-blocking play, and Breece Hall just missed a hole right here. Now, I don't know where this was designed to go. Maybe he was supposed to hit this outside hole between the left tackle and the left guard, and maybe he thought he could get skinny right there, but you guys see massive, massive hole right down there, or if he just puts his foot in the ground right now, these 2 receivers hold their blocks. Breece might have been taking this one to the house, but when we get to the next one here, he just ends up running right into it, which, a little disappointing, but again, I just don't I'm not going to put too much stock into this. Again, this is just one play. These are just a couple still shots we're showing you. But the hole was there, and he saw it. He could just hit that little crease there, puts his foot in the ground. He could have potentially taken this to the house. And I think a lot of people are giving Breece Hall such a hard time because of how good Braelon Allen looked. And I also will say, Aaron Glenn, he's not going to hesitate to give more carries to Braelon Allen and Isaiah Davis. He clearly wants to keep all these running backs feeling fresh, feeling healthy, and if he can just divvy up these carries when we get later on in the season, when that just natural wear and tear of the NFL schedule starts hitting, especially these running backs, if he could give these 3 running backs, maybe it's not a 33% split between all of them, but maybe it's, 40-40 for Braelon and Breece, and then, Davis is getting the other 20. Aaron Glenn's not going to hesitate where if, hey, Braelon Allen's got the hot hand this game, we're just going to give him majority. If Breece Hall has the hot hand, they'll give majority to him, and the same goes with Isaiah Davis. But I do want to give some love to Braelon Allen here because I thought he looked amazing. Now, I do think he was set up to succeed a little more than Breece Hall in the preseason game. Just the blocking from the offensive line were a lot better for the Braelon Allen runs, but I thought he looked amazing. He's kind of rocking the old school Ezekiel Elliott tuck jersey where you see the belly coming out a little bit. Kind of looked like Zeke a little bit on a couple of those runs, but he looks like he's in great shape, man, and he looks like he added some explosiveness to his game this past offseason. Clearly, he has been in the gym. He has been working his tail off, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And I'll say after preseason week 1, as it stands right now, and this could change every single week, I would give the nod to be the lead back to Braelon Allen over Breece Hall. Now, the Jets will never get to a point at any point this season where it's like, oh, Braelon Allen's getting 25 carries, 20 carries a night, and Breece Hall's only getting 4 of the 5. me giving the nod to Braelon is more of like, hey, maybe he'll get 60%, Breece gets 30, Isaiah Davis gets 10, but we'll have to wait and see how they divvy them up. But I think it's just going to be a perfect thunder and lightning combination. And, hey, if Breece Hall makes that correct read and he hits that hole and he has a massive 20-yard gain, we're not even talking about this. And we're also hypercritical on preseason reps since they are very limited. I mean, first team offense was only out there technically for one drive with Justin Fields. So I think right now, Braelon Allen has a slight edge over Breece Hall, but that's just how I'm looking at it. You guys let me know. You guys can disagree with me, and that's A-okay. Who should get more carries? Give me a number 0 for Braelon Allen, or if you're rocking with Breece Hall, type those 20s, type their jersey numbers down below in the comment section. Now, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's edition of the Jets Report. 2 videos today, so if you guys watch both these, clearly we're doing something you like, so hit that subscribe button on your way out. Closing in on 8,000 subs here on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Jets.